BBC Radio Cumbria Sport.
Dear me, they're playing, you can probably hear in the background, they're playing The Great Escape, and I think Chester sort of adopted that one when they were down for their Devon weekend, but obviously I don't think they realise that that's our song. Copyright's Jimmy Glass, you're quite right. And of course, what is good is that when you play The Great Escape, there's both sets of supporters are joining in because they both realise that it applies to them. So we're just about ready for the kick-off. The preliminaries are taking place in the middle of the park, in the centre circle, but there's a whole terracing behind the goal away to my left that's absolutely banked with blue and whites, Carlisle United flags, orange shirts, tremendous. And there's a stand that goes from the byline near enough up to the halfway line that's absolutely packed as well with Carlisle United fans. So yeah, I think their estimate 2,000, I think is just about right. And there's a great big blue army banner being passed over the spectators on the far side. Nice compact little ground as well. We're just about ready. Carlisle United are going to kick off. They've got their orange shirts. They're attacking the goal away to the right as the crowd gets warmed up. Fist waving by Martin Wilkinson. Everybody absolutely keyed up for this game, and what a big game it is. And never mind the psychology, it's plain and simple. This is one game that Chester must win. Carlisle United can go back tonight with a point and it's all the status quo, but that means that Chester will just have 5 games left after today, and they have got to win. The onus is on them. So here we go, we're off, and straight away it's John Durnin sending a long ball away down into the right-hand corner flag of Chester City, and straight away it's Matt Woods that goes to pick the ball up. He's going to take a long throw down the line, and it's headed back in by David Brightwell to Woods. That's going to be allowed to go over the byline. That's a goal kick now to Chester City, and if the ball stays down that end, I won't be too unhappy. Big firm header by Sean Teal, the ball coming to Halliday. Good turn by Halliday, and that's a foul on Stephen Halliday, right in the centre circle, and that's a free kick to Carlisle United. Rob McKinnon's there, but I think Sean Teal will take this. I wonder if he's going to hit it with his left foot to the right side, looking for the head of Matt Pitts. But Halliday's making a run to the right side of the penalty area, drills it in. Good ball, poor touch by Halliday, but that looks as if he's got the throw in, and Halliday had got hold of that ball. That was loose marking there by Chester as late arrivals come in, and the ball back with the Chester City goalkeeper, Wayne Brown. Long ball by Wayne Brown, bouncing twice, that's all the way through to Luke Weaver, and Luke rolls it out to Brightwell. Brightwell's doing a bit of football work as he tries to lay the ball wide right to Pitts. Pitts on the right touchline, not a good ball by Pitts, out of play, and that's a bit of a nervy start there by Matt Pitts, and straight away it's going to be a throw-in by Tony Hemmings. Well, it's Hemmings that's going to take the throw-in. Plenty back for Chester. Hemmings gets it back, tries to hook it inside. Steve Stoley's given away the first corner of the game. So Chester City and big, tall central defenders, Stuart Hicks, the captain, and of course Matt Woods. Matt Woods now coming up to the edge of the penalty area. So it's a corner kick on this left-hand touchline. Very cramped in this commentary box. We haven't got an awful lot of room, I hasten to add. Corner kick comes in, firmly headed away. McKinnon with his left foot, but now I wonder if he's going to get on the end of this. But it's Stevenage 0, Forest Green 1 in the conference as McKinnon goes sliding in, misses his tackle, and again it's Hemmings. Hemmings against Halliday, going on a run down this left touchline is Hemmings, but that's a good solid challenge by John Durnin, and it's a throw into Chester City just inside the Carlisle United half. Well, on the ball at the moment is Neil Fisher, and Fisher gets the throw in on that far side, halfway inside the Carlisle half. It's quickly taken, and Carlisle and good battling play by Rob McKinnon, forcing Chester back into their own half, and in the end it was a bit of a scrappy kick, and it's gone out of play and now offside actually. So Carlisle United a chance to just take the heat out of it after 4 minutes. It's no goals here at the Diva Stadium. And we've got Colchester 1, Blackpool 0, and Northampton Town 0, Halifax Town 1 in Division 3. So Luke Weaver with the kick, drills it to the left. Oh dear me, not very good by Luke. He's put it straight into the empty part of the stand on that far side, and it's now a throw into Chester. Macclesfield Town 1, Plymouth 0 in the 3rd division. In Division 1, Bolton 0, Walsall 1. Walsall really having a go at against relegation, and Peter Clark has got It's 1-1, so that a little bit of glory for Walsall.
It didn't last very long, did it?
Bolton 1, Walsall 1. Of course, Walsall trying to avoid relegation. Bolton going for a playoff place. Free kick to Carlisle on the halfway line. Going to be taken by David Bright. Away on the left-hand touchline, and the referee having a bit of a firm word there with Neil Fisher, I think it is. It was Neil Fisher that brought Peter Clark down as Brightwell takes the free kick, just gently floats it to the edge of the box. Halliday tries to go up, but the referee has given Carlisle a free kick. It's in a good position. It's wide right of the penalty area. Steve Soley's immediately gone over there. Rob McKinnon's the one with the strong left foot. Now the angle for the left foot, I would say, isn't really on, but certainly McKinnon's taken charge. Brightwell's up there in the penalty area. Paul Reed's back on the halfway line. Cross comes in. It's a header by Soley, but no sort of direction on the header. It just skimmed up the air, really. But the pleasing thing was that Soley did manage to get on the end of it, even though nothing came of it. Well, this time it's a free kick to Chester City. It was a foul on Carl Heggs by Stuart Whitehead. Now it's a chance now for Chester City to create a little bit of havoc in the Carlisle defence. It's 3 men over the ball for Chester City. One is Luke Beckett, one is Paul Carden, and it eventually goes, as the cross comes in. Oh, that's a good solid catch there by Luke Weaver. Now that's the type of authority you want to see outside the 6-yard box. Indeed, Hobson it was that put that ball. As long kick clearance comes up, out of play, throw in to Carlisle United. Carlisle really have got to settle down and get an attack going. They haven't really done that yet, but the important thing is at the moment it's 7 minutes gone, no goals here at the Diva Stadium, and the crowd absolutely packed into this little ground. I'm told that the ground capacity is 6,000, and certainly I would say must be a good 2,000 Carlisle fans here. Peter Clark on the ball at the moment, and Peter Clark's going to throw in on that far side, on the left-hand side. That's just inside the Chester City half. David Brightwell with the throw, urging Peter Clark to go forward, and that skims off the top of the defender's head, but not good defending there, as Halliday tries to shield the ball, but couldn't get some space for a cross. Peter Clark hassling. The ball still down in the Chester half, but now it's cleared up to the halfway line. But that's a good strong header by Paul Reed, looking for John Durnin left-hand touchline. Back to Clark. Good ball up. Oh, and Halliday just caught offside, and Halliday not all that happy about that. Kicked it against the defender. Long throw. Whitehead down the line. Soley slips over. Up goes Paul Reed. Good header. Now it's a chance for Soley to hook it forward. It's Halliday. He's beaten to it by the fullback, and it's Carlisle United now down the right touchline to Halliday. Halliday got a touch, but that's all, and he's kept it in. He's done well, and it's still on that bowl. That's lovely play by Halliday, and it looks as though he was pulled back. The defender certainly having a go at Halliday, trying to upset him, and I don't think that I can't quite see. Just to explain the numbers, it's blue and white stripes with a red number on the back. It's I think Stephen Halliday is going to be booked. I'm not quite sure what he's done, but I missed that, Paul. I know the ball was kicked up into the penalty area. It went out of play, and the crowd reacted, and the referee now is certainly taken Halliday's number. Well, it's number 32, did he? Oh, and apparently it's just signalling to me that he was there was a bit of elbowing going on in the penalty area. Now, Stephen Halliday's got to keep his cool. He doesn't... I know they recognise him as a danger man, and here's McKinnon. Good one, near post. Oh, and nobody took control of it at all. It's gone for a corner kick on the other side. And, if somebody was alert there on that far post, that could have been 1-0 to United. But what a free kick. Halliday, corner kick. The referee's not happy. And now what's the referee given? The referee now is having a word with Halliday. He's having a word with the goalkeeper. The ball wasn't in play, so in actual fact it was a dead ball. So I presume that the corner kick will be... he's now having a word with Sean Teal. Steve Soley's lurking, hopefully with intent on the edge of the penalty area, just crept inside now. There's an awful lot of jostling going on in that penalty area as they're all making spinning runs. Cross comes in. Oh, and that's gone onto the head of Brightwell, and Soley is offside, trying to retrieve the ball from the byline. It's time now. We've had 11 minutes gone let's go round our first trip. It's Whitby Town, trip to the seaside. Whitby Town against Barrow for Russell Dodd.
Yes, 11 minutes gone here, and it's Barrow who've made the brighter start. And on 3 minutes, Nicky Peveril had a shot saved from Doherty's through ball. But the same man, unfortunately, was booked a few minutes later for a foul. And after 11 minutes, it's Whitby Town 0, Barrow now 0. It's up to Gretna and Ian Meldrum.
Thanks very much. It's still Gretna 0, Matlock Town 0. In the 6th minute, Gretna had a chance down the left side with Andy Blow, who hit a fierce shot just past the far post. At the moment, it's fairly even, Stephen, but it's still Gretna 0, Matlock Town 0. And now across to Workington Reds and Ossett Town with Keith Richardson.
Reds 0, Ossett Town 0 after 11 minutes. Reds have started a little bit shakily. Chris Shaw had a shot blocked by Mark Green. Brian Dawson's just had a strong run. No side has been able to assert authority as yet. Let's see how title chasers Kendall are coming on at Nuneaton Rugby Union. Kevin Quinn.
Yeah, after 11 minutes, it's still Nuneaton 0, Kendall 0, but Kendall started the brighter. Jogging Bill with an excellent run, well tackled, and then on the 6th minute, Casey Mee couldn't get a penalty kick over. 0-0 here at the Liberty Stadium. Back to Paul Newton, Derek Facey, Chester City, Carlisle United at the Diva.
Chester! Oh, welcome back as Luke Weaver has just made a save from Luke Beckett, and Carlisle United really were living dangerously because the ball went through to Luke Weaver. There was a race on between Luke Weaver and Luke Beckett. Beckett got there first. Luke Weaver was stranded, but it was Sean Teal that headed away from inside the 6-yard box. But now it's Sean Teal. Good clearance by Sean Teal. Durnin and Halliday up there. Firm header forward. Cambridge United 1, Bristol Rovers. Cambridge United 1, Bristol Rovers 0. And we've also got Leicester 1, Everton 0 in the Premiership. Now it's a throw to Chester. Chester with the throw. It's going to be taken by Hemmings. Hemmings, the referee, calling him back. And Stephen Halliday, just to remind you, has been booked early as the 6th minute. Now it's this very, very tricky Hemmings going to the byline. Reid crosses in. Carlisle not alert. It's fallen to Heggs. Heggs now back to Hemmings. Cross comes in, and I think it's going to go out of play on that far side for a throw-in to Carlisle United. Brightwell with the throw. Down the line. Hammered back into the danger area for Chester City. Soley gets on the end of it. But this is hooked in by Hemmings. Edge of the box. A missed kick. Oh, good play by Sean Teal. Sean Teal. Oh, they're in 6s and 7s are Carlisle United. But now Sean Teal, he hasn't cleared the ball properly. Now it's come to the good tackle by Sean Teal. Good tackle by Halliday. Two-footed tackle, I think, by Halliday. And certainly Andy Porter didn't like it. And yeah, it was a foul, no doubt about that. And free kick is going to come in from this left-hand side. It's going to be a right-footed curler. Very difficult to defend these. It's Paul Carden. Paul Carden. Oh, and what a good free kick that is. A good header away as well. The ball falls on to Neil Fisher. Hooks it back into the danger area. As the ball picked up on the halfway line. Oh, and Carlisle are not marking their men. It's come to Heggs. Heggs galloping through, but good tackling. It comes to Soley, hooks it clear. Anywhere will do as John Durnin obstructs the tall Matt Woods. And it's a free kick now to Chester, who in the last 5 minutes certainly have gone very much on the ascendancy. Just looking for my stopwatch as the ball is chipped forward. It's a good tackle there by Sean. Good header by Sean Teal. And Carlisle defending desperately on the edge of their 6-yard box. Clark now. Call falls to McKinnon. Now McKinnon's got Soley square. Now can Soley get on the end of this? He can. Carlisle breaking, but good running back there by Tony Hemmings. And that certainly saved the day for Chester City. The ball hammered clear over their head of Beckett. The ball comes to Reid. Didn't look, just flicked it anywhere. And John Durnin trying to go in for a tackle, but the ball comes at the back to Woods. Long ball by Woods, down the right touchline, looking for Heggs. Heggs now battling against Sean Teal, and the ball is going out of play, is it? Yeah, it's kept in play by Brightwell. Heggs looking for a free kick, and that's, well, I thought that might have been a push in the back, but certainly when you play the ball up to the likes of Durnin and Halliday, they're being absolutely swamped by the likes of Woods. Yeah, I think to me Chester look more intent on arguing than actually knuckling down to it. Scunthorpe 0, Luton Town 1. As So throw in, quickly taken. Brightwell gets there. Clark couldn't quite get there. Sean Teal scoops it high up in the air. And again, it's the tall figure coming forward of Matt Woods. Now to Halliday. Halliday caught offside in the centre of the park. And the ball, well, I don't know. I would question one of those because the ball was aimed to Matt Pitts on the right side. Stephen Halliday was some 10-20 yards away from where the ball was being played. And, well, he was in an offside position, so you have to be more careful. Long kick by Stuart Hicks into the penalty area. Brightwell lets the ball bounce over his head, and that's gone through for a goal kick to Carlisle United. Well, what we've got to do first is to get the ball and create and string some passes together and put that defence under pressure. But once again, it's a long high kick by Weaver. Again, it's a good firm header there by Hicks, and the ball played down to Warren Hegg, Carl Heggs. I'm getting my Heggs mixed up. It's Carl Heggs that's in an offside position, and it's a free kick to Carlisle. It's Luke Weaver with the free kick, halfway inside his own half. Again, it's high, drifting in the wind, and it's gone out of play, and it's a throw-in now to Carlisle United. So it's that long ball they're playing, and they're being out-jumped at the moment. They've got to sort of play the ball through midfield, I feel. Is Matt Pitts. Again, Matt Pitts not quite sure what to do with it, and looking for obstruction against Tony Hemmings, but Hemmings again it is that wins the day, and it's Hemmings with the throw. Again, they've lost out in midfield as McKinnon goes over, and once again it's a loose play there up front by Angus Eve, and that gives Brightwell a chance to set Peter Clark going. Now, could that be a good ball? But no, I think he may have slightly overhit it, but Clark might get there. No, I think he just failed to get there. But the idea was right there from David Brightwell inside the fullback. Peter Clark running onto it, and we got a goal in the Scottish Premiership. It's Ayr 0. It's the Tennant Scottish Cup semi-final. Ayr 0, Rangers 1. David Brightwell with the header, as the ball is hooked forward by Chester, as Sean Teal heads it forward. Again, Chester out jumping Carlisle, but Brightwell's in there quick. Again, it's a long high ball forwards to Whitehead against Beckett, and again it's Chester that picked the ball up, and really it's a clumsy challenge there by Matt Pitts. He can't have any argument with that, and it's a free kick to Chester, and it's going to be taken there by Hemmings, is it? No, Hemmings leaves it, and I think it's going to be taken by Gary Hobson, one of the tall central defenders. So while he's taking the free kick, he's not up front. But Luke Beckett's up there, looks pretty sharp. He's being watched by Sean Teal as free kick comes in, looking for Beckett. But again, Sean Teal heads it away, and that's over the byline, and that's throw in now to Chester, some 18 yards from the Carlisle right side. 0-0 here at the Diva Stadium. Chester City against Carlisle United, as Paul Reed does well, but not a good clearance by Paul Reed. And again, that's a good tackle by Paul Reed, but again, it's picked up by Chester, and Chester playing well. But this time, I think it's Peter Clark that's going in the booking, and I think I'm right in saying that means a one-match suspension for Peter Clark. It's a free kick to Chester, 3 men over the ball. The big guns have come up as well on the far post, namely Hicks, Stuart Hicks, the captain. Also Luke Beckett's there. Also Hegg is there. The cross comes in. Oh, dear me. Well, Luke Weaver, what a lucky goalkeeper. He came out for the ball, and it was Matt Pitts got the head to it. He got a ricochet off somebody else, and then the ball fell kindly. Comes Peter Clark. Now, can Peter go on one of his runs? Trying to control the ball, but he's robbed this time. And once again, it's Chester City up to the halfway line as they try and build up another attack. It's a throw-in over that far side. So time to go round the grounds again, off to the seaside. Whitby Town against Barrow, Russell Dodd.
23 minutes gone here. It's bad news, I'm afraid. The home side have taken a 1-0 lead after a bright start by Barrow on 15 minutes. Free kick was floated into the box, found Colin Carlaughton unmarked at the far post. Simon Bishop did well to make a save, but the rebound was forced over the line by Graham Robinson. Since then, the home side have had a couple of good chances, and Kenny Lowe has been booked for failing to stay 10 yards on a free kick. Barrow just having a appeal for a penalty turned down there. So after 24 minutes, it's Whitby Town 1, Barrow 0, and now up to Gretna, where it's Ian Meldrum.
Yeah, thanks very much. It's still Gretna 0, Matlock Town 0. But certainly Matlock Town's goalkeeper rode his luck in the 11th minute. A high ball from Mark Irwin. The goalkeeper came out, parried the ball and seemed to slip on the mud and he almost presented an opportunity for an on-rushing Gretna forward, but it's still Gretna 0, Matlock Town 0. Now across to Workington Reds Ossett Town game. Keith Richardson.
23 minutes gone here at Borough Park. Reds 0, Ossett Town 0. Reds coming more strongly back into this. It's unspectacular stuff. We've had a couple of long waits for injuries to visiting players. Gary Brooks, I then run, fell in the box, but no penalty awarded. And then Chris Shaw just had a shot saved by Gary Hogarth in the Reds goal. Reds 0, Ossett Town 0. Let's go to Rugby Union now. Nuneaton versus Kendal. Jewston to North, Kevin Quinn.
24 minutes gone, Nuneaton 0, Kendal 5. The well-worked move came after 17th minute. Ian Hortman got over to score the first try of the day. Nuneaton 0, Kendal 5. Let's go back to the Diva. Paul Newton and Derek Lacey watching Chester City, Carlisle United.
Yeah, thanks very much. 24 minutes gone. A header comes off for Sean Teal. Oh, it nearly dipped under the bar. Luke Weaver had to backpedal and stretch for that, and Carlisle had another player booked, Stuart Whitehead, with a clumsy challenge as Carlisle United trying to get that ball going in midfield, but McKinnon beaten to it, and I think Carlisle really are losing this battle in midfield at the moment, as Brightwell does well. Well played, David Brightwell, just lays the ball up to McKinnon. Still 0-0 here. We've had 28 minutes gone, and really it's a question really is if Carlisle can keep their cool here this afternoon. They're being out-battled, to be fair, as the ball is down the line, and once again it's Paul Reid. Paul Reid doing well, gets a foot in, but it's a throw in now to Chester City, just inside their own half. Now that could be a good ball to Halliday on that left touch line. Now what can Halliday do? Has he got support? Peter Clark wants to go to him. Brightwell's there. Brightwell, a gentle chip down. He's looking for Clark. Oh, and that's a bit unlucky because John Durnin picks the ball up, but a bit unlucky for Carlisle because the defender slipped, but he did manage to clear it. Now, oh dear me, bad ball by Peter Clark. Gives the ball away, and away come Chester again. And Luke Weaver nicely taken on his chest. Good ball into the path of Heggs. Heggs now is going to cross the ball to the far post. Luke Beckett's there, scoops it back, but it's gone behind for a corner after good covering by Stuart Whitehead. There's a lack of concentration by Peter Clark on that far side, giving the ball away, that's caused the pressure. And really, there's all sorts of battles going on here. Rob McKinnon's not one to mess about. It's a corner kick, comes in! And it's called ball force to Steve Soley on the edge of the box. Soley hooks it clear down the line, but that's going out of play. Throw-in now to Chester City, but the pressure is relieved somewhat. Chester really a throw-in United off their game, but a mistake there by Chester, and that's given Carlisle United a throw-in on the far side. So 3 bookings for Carlisle United. Peter Clark, Stuart Whitehead, both for clumsy challenges, and Stephen Halliday really just for an elbow in the penalty area. And it's in the Tennent Scottish Cup semi-final. Ayr United 0, Rangers 2. Hutchinson has equalised for Everton. It's 1-1. Leicester 1, Everton 1. Ball played now down. Heggs is onside, and Hegg it is. Hegg now looking for the cross coming in. Can Sean Teal get there? He can, but it's only gone as far as Fisher. Fisher crosses to the far post, headed away by Brightwell. Picked up, first time shot, and well, Sean Teal got there. He's deflected the ball for a corner, and he looked at Luke Weaver and said, well, you didn't call, and he had to do a bit of deflecting, and it's another corner kick to Chester on this left-hand side. Corner kick comes in, far post. Oh, and Luke Weaver's come a long way for it. He sort of pats the ball half away, and the cross comes in again. Steve Soley. Now what can Steve do? Hammers it clear, but again it's picked up by Chester. That's all important. Second ball. Cross comes in, shot comes in. Oh, what a save by Luke Weaver. Oh, absolutely tremendous save by Luke Weaver. Oh, that was a fantastic save. And I think in the end of the day it was Matt Woods that got the shot. Matt Woods a shot from all of 25 yards, destined for the top left-hand corner. Luke Weaver took off, round the bar, corner kick, this time on the far side. Carlisle hanging on. Corner kick, good high one, far post, and it's gone behind us. A goal kick, well left by Luke Weaver, and Luke Beckett sort of headed that ball as it was just going over the byline, and that's a goal kick now to Carlisle United. Well, certainly we've had half an hour gone here now, and it's still 0-0, but you've got to say Chester look to be more fired up than Carlisle, particularly there's about 3 or 4 players that I can pick on, and here comes one of them again, the skipper, certainly Stuart Hicks, very, very powerful. Now, oh dear me, that was Luke Beckett tried a volley from all of 30 yards and kicked Stuart Whitehead in the stomach. John Durnin falls over trying to collect the ball. It's just what we didn't want, and now it's a first-time ball played up and headed clear by Chester. Paul Reid tries to volley it forward, but all he's done is pop the ball up in the air. And good header by Durnin, finds Halliday. And Halliday beaten to it again in midfield. And Halliday again tries a desperate tackle. Reid, now what's Reid done here? Reid, and linesman's flags up for offside. Well, Hegger scored, but the linesman's flagged up for offside. And I must admit, at the moment, I was a little bit surprised. Well, Steve Soley now trying to, nice bit of football, is McKinnon. McKinnon on that far side, Peter Clark having a battle with Carden. Clark clips it down, looking for Halliday, left-hand side of the penalty area, just outside. Halliday trying to weave his magic, but he's won a throw-in, some 6 yards from the byline. Well, it doesn't matter how long a game goes on, Paul. I always feel that at least sometime during the game, a team's going to have a couple of minutes in the ascendancy. But the cross comes in, half ball, half headed clear, and was it Hegg again for Chester City. And long volleyed clearance, looking up front for Angus Eve. That ball comes off Sean Teal, throw into Chester on that far side. 34 minutes gone. Up to the halfway line, the Brightwell sort of sold himself there, lucky to get away with it to McKinnon. McKinnon, a nice ball to Durnin to Soley. This is a bit better. Soley looking up, looking to find... that was a little bit of bad luck as Durnin, nicely nutmegs his man, got to clout on the chin for his cheek. Soley trying to send Pitts away inside the fullback, but too much pace on the pass. But there, just for a brief couple of seconds, just a little bit better, United started playing it around a bit. But there's a long throw down the line, looking for Durnin, but that's firmly headed out of play by Hobson, and that gives Chester City another throw. This time they're creeping inside enemy territory, so to speak, in the nicest possible way. As the throw from Pitts down the line, looking for Halliday, who's got arms all round him, but there's no way he was... that's a good header by Sean Teal, stood his ground. Whitehead heads it forward, the ball comes off of Hemmings, and that's a throw-in now to Carlisle United. Well, it's the ball's volleying backwards and forwards at the moment, and it's Sean Teal, good solid header back to Luke Weaver. So have a little bit of updated scores, I think. Well, we're Bolton 3, Walsall 1, Crystal Palace 3, Stockport 0, Ipswich 1, Port Vale 0, Queen's Park Rangers 2, Swindon 0 in the Division 1. And Queen's Park Rangers 2, Swindon 1, so they're falling back in the Division 2. It's Burnley 1, Notts County 0, Cambridge United 1, Bristol Rovers 0, Colchester 1, Wickham 0, Chesterfield at the bottom 1, Wickham 0, Colchester 1, Blackpool 0, Millwall 1, Bury 0, Scunthorpe 0, Luton 1. I'll give you the rest as we go on. In fact, there's still the referee very, very keeping a close eye on a little cluster of players, all sort of having little pushes at each other. And it's Andy Porter now for Chester. Andy Porter again, a volley forward, but that's going nowhere. And I think what Carlisle have got to do, if they're losing the battle in midfield, they've got to frustrate Chester and keep them at distance, with the defence playing perhaps just that little bit higher. But certainly in the last couple of minutes, the sting has gone out of Chester. Now there's a lob into the penalty area. What can Durnin do? Can he get on the end of it? But the ball falls comfortably and kindly to Wayne Brown in the Chester goal. But not a good kick by Brown. And that's... did Luke Beckett do a dive there? Dear me, all he wanted was water. Millwall 2, Bury 0 in the second division. And once again, Stuart Whitehead, he's allowed his... that could be a good ball inside the fullback, but it's Paul Reid, just toe pokes it away, and that could end up a good ball as Durnin picks it up. Good ball by Durnin to Soley, right touchline. Soley on his own, he wants support, chips it down the line, one for Halliday to run onto, and Halliday gaining momentum, and in the end, the big centre-half Hicks is forced to put it out of touch, and that's a throw-in now to Carlisle United, quickly taken. Soley hooks it in the middle into the penalty area, headed away, and the ball picked up by Angus Eve. Again headed back into danger territory by Durnin to McKinnon. McKinnon tries a gentle chip forward to Peter Clark. I think the idea was right, but in the end, the ball is given away. David Brightwell does the safe thing. Ball into touch, far side, throwing to Chester. Now McKinnon brought down that time, and he's won himself a free kick, and it's going to be taken by David Brightwell. It's that long ball down. There's a half chance here. And it took a good header there by Stuart Hicks to stop Halliday going in, but brave header by Teal. But Paul Reid being run out of it, and Chester come down this left-hand touchline. Hicks couldn't control it out of play, and we've had 39 minutes gone here. the last time we were at the seaside. Whitby Town 1, Barrow 0. Reporting is Russell Dodd.
6 minutes to go to half-time. That's still the same scoreline. The corner goes in and it may be forced over the line, but it's been cleared away in the 6-yard box there. The home side took the lead on 15 minutes when Colin Carlawton ghosted in on the end of a free kick to see a fine save from Bishop, but Robinson then forced the rebound over the line. The home side had a couple of chances after that, but it's been Barrow being brighter at the end. Hume just beating the keeper to a cross there, but puts his header over the bar. Barrow brighter in the last 10 minutes. Peel and Doherty going close, and Mark Hume there as well. Certainly Barrow not out of this game by any means, and slightly unlucky to be trailing at the moment. It's Whitby Town 1, Barrow 0. Now up to Gretna and Ian Meldrum.
Yeah, thanks very much. It's now Gretna 1, Matlock Town 0. A goal a couple of minutes ago by Graham Emerson. Brilliant goal. Right down the right-hand side on his own, cut inside, got into the edge of the box, and as the goalkeeper came towards him, he fired in a shot off the far post. Tremendous goal. And just a couple of moments later, there was almost a second one with Martin Henderson just denied by a very, very brave save by the goalkeeper. So at the moment, it's Gretna 1, Matlock Town 0. Now across to the Workington Reds Ossett Town game, Keith Richardson.
39 minutes gone, it's Reds 0, Ossett Town 1. The goal coming on 35 minutes. Matthew Henney caught in possession just outside the box. Scott Jackson embarked on a strong run, shrugged off a defender and gave Gary Hogarth no chance with a low shot into the corner of the net. Reds could have been ahead before that on 30 minutes. Andrew Douglas put Brian Dawson in from a tight angle, a left-hand post shot. Strong shot, well saved by keeper Mike Clark. But coming up to 40 minutes, Reds 0, Ossett Town 1. Let's go Rugby Union now. Kevin Quinn, Nuneaton versus Kendall.
Yeah, 39 minutes gone. Nuneaton 0, Kendall 17. Champions of that Kendall well in control of this one, thanks to a try by Ian Vortman, Colin Wolstenholme and Casey Mee, which he converted. Nuneaton 0, Kendall 17. Back to Paul Newton, Derek Gracie, Chester City Car United at the Diva.
Well, just to finish off the oval ball, it's Sedgley Park 8 to Spatria 3. Back to football. Harrogate Town 1, Netherfield Kendall 0. And it's a header. Carlisle United again defending as McKinnon tries to do a bit of battling for it. Steve Soley hooks it forward, and once again Stephen Halliday is offside, but it's a free kick to Carlisle just inside their own half. No goals since you've been away, but Carlisle nearly went in front with in the fortuitous circumstances. There was a high ball bouncing. Goalkeeper came all the way to the edge of his penalty area, and as he came there, he slipped. And as he slipped, the ball landed in his midriff. So that's a good header inside by Clark. The ball comes to McKinnon. McKinnon, edge of the box to Halliday. Can Halliday turn? He can't. He's looking for some support. He gets it with Paul Reed. Paul Reed hooks it on the far side of the penalty area. McKinnon tries to nod it back. Now Carlisle, can they keep this pressure on? It's Paul Reed. Good ball by Paul Reed. Good flick on. McKinnon again. But to Clark. Clark back out to McKinnon, back out to Clark. Oh, and Stephen Halliday slipped at the vital time. And the ball is played. It's out of touch. Throw into Carlisle United. Now is something for the Carlisle fans to cheer about. And rapidly coming to the end of the first half. Just a few minutes to go. 0-0 here at the Diva Stadium. And 39 minutes as a long cross comes in looking for Soley, and Soley beaten by the challenge of Wayne Brown, the goalkeeper, who did well, and Brown immediately clears it down. And not a particularly good header by Beckett, but at the end of the day it wasn't a particularly good clearance by Matt Pitts. And once again it's Matt Pitts in possession. And which way is the referee going to give it? Well, he's given it Chester's way, and the free kick quickly taken. Comes out to Hemmings again. Hemmings going down that left touchline, being chased by Pitts. Again, good play by Pitts. Comes off of Hemmings, and that's a throw-in now to Carlisle United. Nottingham Forest 0, Charlton 1. And I think if Charlton do win that, that would be the first automatic promotion, and they go up as champions. So very important. Andy Hunt scoring there for Charlton Athletic. That would give them 91 points. Good turn by McKinnon. Now, can he release the ball? No, he can't. Not quite the clearance or the pass that we wanted, but that's a good ball to Beckett on that on the right side. Knocks the ball back in. Chester coming to the end of this first half, and I'm just looking at the number of minutes that the fourth official is going to hang up. Manchester City 1, Crewe 0 in Division 1, as Chester again on the ball at the moment, being forced back by Carlisle as McKinnon just steadies it, looks up, and he hammers that ball up, flick off John Durning, but picked up again by Chester. Chester very much had the majority of possession, but Carlisle have battled well without creating an awful lot. Now is a chance now for it's a little bit of a dodgy back pass there by David Brightwell, but certainly on the end of it, and that's a push by Beckett. Yes, Beckett turning Whitehead. Free kick to Carlisle United. I'll make it 44 minutes gone. 44 minutes gone in this first half. Just rapidly coming to the end of the first half, 0-0, and in the Tennant Scottish Cup semi-final, it's Ayr 0, Rangers 3. If Chester keep going and going, they might get even more frustrated and push more men forward, but that's out of play. That's a throw into Chester, but to be fair, Chester have shown the more aggression as throw down the line. Up goes Matt Pitts, did well to get there first, does the right thing, heads it into touch. And again, Paul Baker and Martin Wilkinson having a rare old chat with each other as the long throw down the line. Matt Pitts again, and again it's Chester just gaining a little bit of momentum down the left-hand touchline. And the linesman, or the fourth official I should say, is deciding the number of minutes he's going to add on, and there shouldn't be all that many, I wouldn't have thought, Paul. I can't recall the trainer being on for any great length of time. 3 minutes of injury time. We've played about 1 minute of that at the moment, and it's 0-0 in this crucial game. And I think Carlisle will be quite happy to get to half-time. Has a bit battling going on. Paul Reed, can he turn? And Paul Reed beaten to it by Eve. Eve gets it to Porter. Porter now back to Eve making a run, but this should be Paul Reed's. He's got all the time, but he slices his clearance, and that's gone out of play, out of the stadium. Throw in to Chester. Throw in back to Hemmings. Hemmings now against Matt Pitts. He tries to go round Matt Pitts, but good play by Matt Pitts again, keeps him at bay. And Matt Pitts and Hemmings having a rare old battle down this line, and I must say it looks as if Hemmings is coming out on points at the moment, because it's Matt Pitts that's being pushed back. Hemmings again with the throw, finds Eve. Good interception there this time by Matt Pitts, slides in. Now has he got, no, he hasn't got the deflection, but the tall figure, I'm just looking at the big centre half, having a bit of a laugh and a joke. Stuart Hicks having a laugh and joke with the linesman. But here comes Chester City again, middle of the, just coming into the Carlisle penalty area. David Brightwell picks it up, knocks it forward up to John Durnin. Durnin back to Brightwell. Brightwell checks, he's going to be closed down, but he lays the ball down the line to Clark. Clark jinking with his left foot, gets it back to Durnin. Durnin tries a first-time ball, but interception by Brightwell and a timely one as Soley goes in. Now the ball falling now with... the ball falls to Halliday. It's a first-time ball to McKinnon, looking for Pitts, but it's far too high, far too wide, and that now is a throw-in now to Chester City. That 2 minutes, 2.5 minutes, I think, just about 30 seconds to go, Paul. And there we are. We haven't even got that because that's the half-time whistle. But good effort by Chester. A little bit of intimidation on their part at times, I felt. But on saying that, Carlisle United in defence cope with it. There was just one clear-cut shot on goal, and that was all from 25 yards. And what a save it was from Luke Weaver. But apart from that, little has been seen of Carlisle as an attacking force. They did have one or two bright moments, but nothing clear-cut.
Yeah, that's the half-time score here, and I have to say, over the piece, Barrow certainly at least equal, if not better than their hosts, but they trailed to a 15th-minute goal when colleague Carl Lawton got on the end of a free kick, totally unmarked, produced a fine save from Simon Bishop, who did very well to parry, but Robinson forced the ball over the line from close range. Barrow had started the brighter, and Peveril had had a shot saved from a Doherty through ball on 3 minutes, but 5 minutes later the Barrow forward was booked. A Burke shot was saved on 17, and 2 minutes later Kenny Lowe was booked for infringing at the free kick, and then Logan had a free kick palmed and pushed away by Simon Bishop. A very bobbly surface has been making play difficult, and it's made it especially difficult for the Barrow keeper, with several shots bouncing just in front of him, and one came on the half hour, and he did well to get a Burke shot around the post. The last quarter of an hour, though, were all Barrow in terms of attacking force, but they couldn't unlock the door. Peel had a shot blocked on 32, Doherty likewise 2 minutes later, and then a Hume header as he beat the keeper to a Peel cross, but put the ball over. That was 5 minutes from the half-time interval. Wayne Dowell became Barrow's third man booked to the half with 3 minutes to go to half-time, and at the end of this first half, it's Whitby Town 1, Barrow 0.
Yeah, thanks. Half-time score, Gretna 1, Matlock Town 2. Certainly Gretna took the early stages of the game, and in fact took probably the first half hour or so of the game. Although Matlock did their bit, they certainly didn't create many clear-cut chances. Gretna went ahead in the 35th minute with a great run down the right by Graham Emerson, who cut inside and smashed it into the far corner of the net. And everything looked hunky-dunky there. And then 4 minutes later, a shot by Ruben Francis, the visiting centre-forward, going wide, with deflected past to the home goalkeeper by Graham Emerson. And just to rub salt in the wounds, 2 minutes later, a ball was played to the edge of the box and Andy Simpson lobbed Nicky Hill in the home goal to suddenly turn the game round to Gretna 1, Matlock Town 2. So that's the half-time score here from Redhill Park. Gretna 1, Matlock Town 2.
In half-time, the score is Reds 0, Ossett Town 1. Fairly unspectacular stuff. A couple of long stoppages for injuries, but Ossett Town has scored the vital goal and they've been good value for the lead. The goal came on 35 minutes. Matt Henney, just back from injury for the Reds, he was caught in possession just outside the box. Scott Jackson, centre-forward, latched onto the ball and set off on a strong run towards goal. He shrugged off a defender and then sent a perfect low shot into the corner of the net, giving keeper Gary Hogarth absolutely no chance. Reds, in truth, could have gone ahead on 30 minutes. Andrew Douglas put in Brian Dawson. Tight angle at the left-hand post. Dawson stranded a strong shot, but it was well saved by keeper Mike Clark. Uneventful stuff, as I say. Long stoppages for injury. Reds are down 0-1 at half-time.
Yeah, 4 minutes into the second half, and that title is well apt. Champions are left because they've just extended the lead. It's now Nuneaton 0, Kendal 22. The scores coming from Ian Vortman on the 17th minute, a try by Colin Woosnam on the 26th, and then Casey made a try and he converted it in the 34th minute. And just as he came over, big Richard Harriman got over to make it Nuneaton 0, Kendal 22.
BBC Radio Cumbria Sport.
Thanks very much, and straight away it's Chester on the attack, but it's broken down and it's gone to Soley. Soley tries to find Durnin, but once again Chester break it down and try to attack down this right side. 0-0 here at the Diva Stadium as Sean Teal holds his ground and Paul Reed helps him out with a clearance. McKinnon, header for Carlisle. McKinnon again, just knocking it forward to Clark. But Clark fails to control it, and once again, it's Chester that come away with it. Now this could be dangerous with Heggs. Heggs trying to send the ball inside the fullback, but it's a good tackle by Sean Teal in the end, and a good advance run there once again by Tony Hemmings, who's causing all sorts of problems for Carlisle down that left flank. Very impressive player, I think, Hemmings. But there was a half chance there for John Durney, but he failed to control it on the edge of the box. And here come Chester again. Chester out to Beckett. Beckett down the line. It's picked up there by Angus Eve. Eve with a cross. That's comfortably into the arms of Luke Beckett. I just wonder what the Carlisle connection said in the dressing room at half-time, because they really were out-battled in midfield, weren't they? I thought the back four played quite well, to be honest, but midfield, that's where it's falling down for Carlisle United, as that ball is just hopefully hooked forward there by Matt Pitts. No great, nothing constructive about that, and the ball is just gone over the byline, and it's a goal kick now to Chester. 0-0, by the way, Barnet-Shrewsbury, in case you're wondering what that is. So if that happens at the end of 90 minutes, it'll be the status quo. And just to remind you of the update scores on the locals, it's Whitby Town 1, Barrow 0, Gretna 1, Matlock Town 2, Workington 0, Ossett Town 1, Harrogate Town 1, Netherville Kendal 0, Dewston 2 North, Nuneaton 0, Kendal 17, Sedgley Park 8, Aspatria 3. The ball now with Luke Weaver, and Luke just finds touch, so to speak. Nearly reaches the halfway line. Chester keen to get on with it in the shape of Neil Fisher. And it was Rob McKinnon there that broke up that attack, but he's put the ball out of play, and it's a throw, and it's going to be taken by Matt Woods on the halfway line. And Barnsley 0, West Bromwich Albion 1, and it's Paul Reed is adjudged to have pushed Angus Eve, so straight away it's a free kick to Chester on the right-hand touchline. And I guess the way things are going, this result will be a godsend, I think, really, the way things are going. Sean Teal heads away under pressure, and the ball up with Halliday, back heads it, and the ball bouncing into the Chester half, and it's a long ball back to goalkeeper Wayne Brown. He steadies himself. He's got a little bit of time to plant the ball up, but he looks to have hooked that, and that's gone out of play on the halfway line, and not really good play by the goalkeeper. And it's another throw into Carlisle, just inside the Chester half. Brightwell looking for Clark, looking for Durnin. Durnin collects it, gets it back to McKinnon. McKinnon sideways, good header forward there by Soley, but McKinnon couldn't get on the end of it, and the ball goes up to the halfway line. But here come Chester again. The ball hooked forward. Halliday runs after it, but should be the keepers. Wayne Brown. Indeed it is. Well, just to confirm the Carlisle support, it's absolutely fantastic here this afternoon. Away to my left, there's a whole tennicing of Carlisle fans and half a stand on the far side. As Matt Pitts gets in the way, it's a chance for Carlisle to break, but certainly covering well there was the skipper, Stuart Hicks, as the quick throws quickly taken. Goes to Halliday. Now can Halliday get the ball inside to Pitts? He can. Now it's a chance. Pitts squares it back to Durning. Oh, and Durning tries to jump over it, but it's the first time we've seen Carlisle really as an attacking force, and that's a poor ball out by Chester, and I just wonder whether they're going to be under a little bit of pressure. Good play there by Steve Soley, battling well against Hemmings. Soley against Hemmings, and the ball comes off Soley. That's a throw in, and Hemmings sort of doesn't like it if anybody gets at him, but he likes to put a bit of aggression about. And Hemmings having to go with the Carlisle fans on the far side. He's good at giving it out, but he's got to learn to take it a little bit, I think. Nothing wrong with that challenge. Well, it's a goal kick now to Chester City. A long ball by Matt Pitts down the line was just went straight out of play, and one of the stewards retrieves the ball, and it's going to be a goal kick taken by Wayne Brown. 5 minutes gone in the second half, 0-0 here at the Diva Stadium. Just to remind you, 0-0 Barnet against Shrewsbury. And there's Wayne Brown. The ball hanging in the air as McKinnon gets on the end of it. Oh, and McKinnon was lining himself up for a left foot volley, but he's got another chance. McKinnon, he's looking for a cross. Good, nice ball inside to Halliday. Halliday gets it wide left to Clark. Clark back to Halliday. Oh, dear me, that wasn't a good ball by Clark, but good retrieving there by Paul Reed. Halliday going through, tries to curl a shot into the top left-hand corner, but that ball's just over and he got a deflection. McKinnon with the corner kick, far side, curls it in. It's a good one. Could be the keepers, could not be the keepers. But in the end, it was a good catch because he was stretching all the way. But that was a good corner kick by McKinnon. Put the goalkeeper under a lot of pressure. And after that first touch, it could have gone anywhere, but he recovered well. Now again, it's Chester on the attack, but again, a loose ball. They couldn't control the ball. It's gone out of play. David Brightwell's going to take the throw. 7 minutes gone in the second half. Clark on his chest, he's running himself back into trouble, and in the end he's hooked a hopeful ball across that's picked up by Hemmings. But the referee, as Judge Hemmings, was fouled this time by Pitts, and it's going to be a free kick now to Chester. It's the skipper, Hicks, with a long ball down this right touchline. Good collection by Luke Weaver. David Brightwell's going to be in trouble, I think. Yeah, David Brightwell. It could be another booking for David Brightwell, or is it just going to be a firm talking to? And I haven't seen his hand go for the book. Yeah, he acknowledges that, and it's a free kick to Chester on the right-hand touchline. Over the ball is Fisher. Also over the ball is Carden. Fisher takes it, swings it to the far post, headed back into the centre, headed away by Brightwell. Sean Teal's got to get there. Sean Teal does. Turns, chases after his own header. Now is Sean Teal galloping down the touchline. It's a long ball, hucks into the Carlisle crowd in that stand on the far side. And it's quite a game going on at Northampton, I believe, Paul, I'm hearing. It's Northampton 3, Halifax 3. Ball out of play on that far side. We've had 10 minutes in the second half. It's a long throw by Whitehead down the touchline. Hemmings gets there, Soley gets there. The ball falls kindly. Oh, an offside against Halliday. Free kick to Chester. Let's have a quick run through while play is a little bit dead at the moment. It's Barnsley 0, West Bromwich Albion 1, Bolton 3, Walsall 1, Crystal Palace 3, Stockport 1, Portsmouth 1, Norwich 1, Queen's Park Rangers 2, Swindon 1. That's in Division 1. We'll give you the others as we just go along. We'll just stay here for a couple of seconds as the free kick's been taken up to the edge of the Carlisle back line. Sean Teal gets there. Can he recover? No, he can't. And it's the Heggs that gets there for Chester. Tries to lay that ball inside the fullback, but I think Stuart Whitehead is going to clear this ball down the right touchline to Halliday. Halliday beaten to it in the air. Steve Stoley tries to go for it, but it's Hegg again. Hegg, now here come Carlisle United through Whitehead. Whitehead up to the halfway line to Durnin. Durnin square to Soley. Soley wants to change it here. Look, David Brightwell was screaming for it, but that's... And it's now David Brightwell eventually gets it on this left touchline. chips that ball. Good ball inside to McKinnon. McKinnon now looking, makes a bit of space for himself down this left touchline. McKinnon going on a run, cuts inside, but it's just that little bit too much. And away come Chester again. Nice 1-2. And good tackle there by young Paul Reed. Ball out of play, throwing to Chester. Let's go round the grounds again. 11 minutes gone in the second half. Whitby Town against Barrow. Russell Dodd.
Yes, good news here. It's now Whitby 1, Barrow 1. Barrow equalising on 54 minutes. A shot comes in, which is just palmed away. Peveril will pick up the rebound, but there's no immediate danger. Barrow equalising on 54 when Neil Doherty dispossessed Taylor to thread through for Peel, and he shot the ball past Dawson in the Whitby goal. The home side had taken the lead after 15 minutes when Robinson got on the end of a rebound following Carl Lawton's effort on a free kick. So we've played now some 13 minutes in the second half. It's Whitby Town 1, Barrow 1, up to Ian Meldrum, Gretna versus Matlock.
Yeah, thanks very much, Russell. It's still Gretna 1, Matlock Town 2, and although Gretna have had most of the possession in the second half, there was a magnificent jinking run into the box by Reuben Francis, the visiting centre forward. One of these runs where the defenders were scared to tackle in case of conceding a penalty, and it was only because of an excellent save that kept the score down. So it's still Gretna 1, Matlock Town 2. Now across to Keith Richardson for the Workington Reds Ossett Town game.
Coming up to 60 minutes gone, it's Reds 0, Ossett Town 2 now. Second goal for Ossett Town on 55 minutes. Gary Brook, the scorer. Reds once again failed to clear. Shaky at the back. Unstoppable left foot shot from Gary Brook. Almost broke the net. Reds 0, Ossett Town 2. Let's go over to Kevin Quinn. Nuneaton versus Kendal Rugby Union.
26 minutes gone, Nuneaton 7, Kendal 34. Kendal had built on that impressive first half performance with three further tries from Richard Harriman, Ian Gowan and Jason Barmer with a conversion from Casey Mee, but they took the foot off the gas and allowed Greg Innings to get in to score a try for Nuneaton. Nuneaton 7, Kendal 34. Back to Paul Newton, Derek Lacey, Chester United at the Diva Stadium.
Thanks, Kevin. Just a lull in play while one of the Chester players receives treatment as Peter Clark also got a knock on the chin, but it is a free kick to Chester because Peter Clark went in. There's all sorts of little bits and pieces going on out there. Sean Teal is having a go with Andy Porter, and also involved now is Stephen Halliday, and Andy Porter and Steve Soley just pushing him away. And Harrogate Town 1, Netherfield Kendal 0. Sedgley Park 14, Aspatria 8 in the Dewson 2 North.
Yeah, it's been...
Well, Chester player sort of moving his right wrist. It seems as though it was Paul Carden that got a knock, and that's a long free kick by Hex. And there's a chance for Brightwell to hammer it clear, but he slices it into the stand, and that's a throw in now to Chester. Sunderland 1, Wimbledon 0. Niall Quinn in the Premiership. It's Leicester 1, Sunderland 1. As the throw is taken. Now Paul Reed has got some defending to do. Leicester 1, Everton 1. It's a corner kick to Chester on this right touchline. It's going to be taken by Fisher. We've had an hour of the game. 0-0 here at the Diva. Another corner kick coming in from the right side. It's coming in by Fisher. And is he going to take a short one? No, he chips this one to the middle of the goal, and good catch by Luke Weaver. It was comfortable in the end, and Luke Weaver rolls the ball out to Halliday and going on a run. Oh, that could be a good ball. He's looking for Soley. There's plenty of support. Halliday, what are you doing? Giving the ball on the right side. He gets it to Soley. Soley has got Matt Pitts in attendance. Soley's going to try one. Hits it along the ground. Oof, dear me. And I thought that was going well wide, but then all of a sudden the goalkeeper had a panic, dive for it, and it just passed the right-hand post. But that's a good header there by Heggs. And here come Chester again. Chester, but again, good covering play by Stuart Whitehead. And Whitehead completes his clearance up to the halfway line. But it's the skipper that Plumpsy heads it back, and Brightwell volleys it away over to that right-hand side, and Stephen Halliday yards offside. Certainly a draw would suit Carlisle, and I think the owners very much is on Chester to come and win the game, which, to be fair, is what they are trying to do. And free kick again, taken by Stuart Hicks. Long ball to the left-hand touchline, failed to control, ball out of play, throw to Carlisle United. Long throw down the line, again, Chester throw. Carlisle gaining ground all the time, level with the 18-yard line now, Matt Pitts. Pitts looking for some support, Soley's there, not a good throw, not a good ball at all. Good throw at all, but again, good ball by McKinnon. Back to McKinnon. McKinnon, a first-time ball wide right. He gives it away to Hemmings, and away comes Hemmings, being chased by Matt Pitts. Matt Pitts has got a bit of legs, but there again, so has Hemmings. But Sean Teal across with a good ball. Soley comes inside. Oh, not Soley. He's giving the ball away. And here comes Chester again down the centre. A long scoop ball looking for Luke Beckett wide, but Brightwell, no nonsense, into touch. Throw's been taken. Picked up on the edge of the box there by Eve at Chester. Back to Eve. Eve now having little 1-2s with Fisher, and he's going to try and get a corner kick, but he crosses to the near post and it's hooked away by Brightwell. McKinnon goes in, but he's robbed inside the fullback. It's on the edge of the penalty area. A swivel and a turn by Heggs, but it's wide of the right-hand post. Goal kick, Carlisle United. 63 minutes. 63 minutes gone. Chester 0, Carlisle United 0. And just to remind you, down at Barnet, it's Barnet 0. Shrewsbury 0. Now what can Beckett do? Brightwell goes in. Teal, not with a good clearance. He gets the ball to, it's this man, Hemmings again. Is Hemmings felled in the penalty area? No, he wasn't. They're appealing for it. But the linesman, or the referee rather, quite adamant that fairest challenge as Hemmings went down. And that's a goal kick now to Carlisle United. When it goes down like that, you always just hold your breath a bit. Now that's out of play. Throw into Carlisle on that far side. Level with us, actually. Just inside the Chester half, right side. He's got to come back about around about 3 or 4 yards as Matt Pitts. Bradford 0, Southampton 1. That's an important goal in the Premiership. Long throw down the line. Ball bouncing once. Halliday trying to get on the end of it. And Barnet 0, Shrewsbury Town 1. Good lovely play there by Halliday. Halliday cuts it back to Soley, squares the ball across as Clark was coming in. It's still in the Chester penalty area and it's picked up by McKinnon. He's been robbed, and is Reid hooks it forward. Still the ball not clear, and the ball bobs between two Carlisle players, but Hemmings again picks the ball up for Chester City. And once again, Hemmings has gone down like a sack of coal again. 9.5, I think, there. As McKinnon picks it up, heads it forward for Carlisle United. The ball on that far side. And good play by Soley. Soley just nodding it down, giving himself some time for a pass. Split pass. Durning, can he chase it? No, he can't. And just to repeat that latest scoreline in the third division, it's Barnet 0, Chesterfield 1. As the courtesy throw, I should say, has been taken by John Durning, and he throws it over the byline, and that gives Chester City a goal kick. So let's go round the grounds. Whitby Town against Barrow and Russell Dock.
68 minutes gone here. It's still Whitby Town 1, Barrow 1. The home side taking the lead through Robinson on 15 minutes. But Nathan Peel equalised for Barrow 9 minutes into the second half. Since that goal, it's been Barrow have looked more likely to change the scoreline with the ball now in the opposing box with Peel. Chuckling his way through, may get a shot in here, but it's blocked, comes out to Peveril, who shoots, and that's blocked as well. So all action here, Barrow on the attack, 68 minutes gone. It's Whitby Town 1, Barrow 1, now up to Gretna and Ian Meldrum.
Thanks, Russell. It's still Gretna 1, Matlock Town 2. It's fairly even Steven in the last quarter of an hour or so, but I have to say that probably the best chance fell a couple of moments ago to Matlock Town, a break down the right by Ian Askey, and he slightly overhit his centre, and had he not done so, there was two Matlock forwards waiting for the centre to head it in. So it's still Gretna with it all to do. Gretna 1, Matlock Town 2. Now down to Workington Reds and Ossett Town with Keith Richardson.
Yeah, coming up to 25 minutes gone in the second half. It's Reds 0, Ossett Town 3 now. The latest scorer for Ossett Town on 67 minutes. Scott Jackson, absolute rocket of a right foot shot from well outside the box. That's his second of the match. He scored earlier on 35, and Gary Grook, the other scorer, on 55. Reds 0, Ossett Town 3. More trouble for the Reds. Let's go over to Kevin Quinn, Nuneaton versus Kendal Rugby Union.
Yeah, 37 minutes of the second half gone. It's still Nuneaton 7, Kendal 34. Thanks to those 3 tries in the second half by Richard Hageman, Ian Gowan and Jason Barmer, which me converted. Greg Fry got over for Nuneaton, and a consolation kick by Massey. So with only 2 minutes to go of this game, Nuneaton 7, Kendal 34. Back to Paul Newton, Derek Lacey, Chester Carlisle United at the Diva Stadium.
Well, thanks very much, Kevin. All round the ground, still 0 here. A little bit of a scare for Carlisle United as Chester won a free kick on the far side, and also Rob McKinnon had a snapshot from 25 yards that headed high wide and not very handsome, when really perhaps a ball through to Peter Clark might have been the order of the day. As Chester once again punt the ball forward, but it's out of play on the far side, and it's a throw in now to Carlisle United with Stuart Whitehead. Whitehead to Reed, hooks it forward, and again these high balls forward are not really conducive to Carlisle's attack because they're two small men, and that's out of play, but it's well kept in by the Chester number 11 Neil Fisher. Good ball up to Beckett, and away come Chester again. It's Hegg, swiveled shot off the back heel of Beckett, behind, goal kick to Carlisle United. Well, we've had 69 minutes gone, still 0-0 here at the Diva Stadium. Long goal kick, Soley tries to get there, the ball bouncing, and surely Halliday leaned all over, but no, the ball comes up to Hegg on the halfway line, hooks it forward, one for Beckett to chase, but Teal is there with a first-time clearance, and again the ball just skims off the top. Now can it fall kindly for John Durnin? It could fall for McKinnon. McKinnon gets it to Clark, but Clark's got to run back for it, gets it down the line to Durnin. Durnin checks, he's got McKinnon inside, gives it back to Clark. Nice 1-2. Here's Durnin. Durnin now back to Clark on this left touchline. Clark checks, chips the ball in, but not a good ball in at all, and that's gone. Now Beckett could be away down this right touchline. Good take. He's being faced by Brightwell. Hegg, his strike partner, tries a shot, gets a deflection, and Peter Clark now possibly having the last kick of his contribution to the match, and it wasn't a particularly good clearance as Carden sends that ball into the penalty area. Beckett gets on the end of it. The ball hasn't gone out of play yet, and it was Matt Pitts that had to do a defending job and hook the ball out of play on that far side. Throw in now to Chester. 70 minutes gone, no goals. Hemmings again on that left touchline, teasing this time Stuart Whitehead, but a good tackle by Whitehead. Keeps the ball out of play on that far side, throw into Chester. Damon Searle is definitely coming on, and one would assume that it's wing back for wing back. Well, certainly Damon Searle is coming on, there's no doubt about that, and we'll have a little poll about who's going off. I think I'll go with Paul, I'll change my mind, as the ball comes up to Halliday on that right touchline, beaten to it by the big tall figure of Hicks. And it's all sorts of battling going on as Soley gets it, chips the ball down the line. But again, it's Soley. No, it's not. It's Paul Reed. Again, a hopeful ball up for Paul Reed as Halliday goes tumbling over. Again, it's McKinnon with a good touch. Now here's Durnin. Durnin wide right to Halliday. Halliday on the right touchline. 3 players in the box for Carlisle United. He's looking for some support in Steve Soley. Puts it wide right to Pitts. Pitts back to Halliday. Messing about with it a bit as Soley goes into the touchline, gets it back, Halliday gets it back this time to Reed. Now I think Reed will plant the ball in, and what a good one. Oh, and the ball now falling at the edge of the box. Overhead kick. Oh, and that ball goes by the right hand post by McKinnon, and that could be Rob McKinnon's last contribution to the game, and indeed it is. Rob McKinnon comes off, and acrobatic overhead kick, and I wonder what happened if that had gone in. Soley goes up, good header. Now who can get on the end of this? It's a slash clearance by Hicks, and I think Matt Pitts will be quite happy to let this one go out of play, which he does. And Pitts with the throw. Durnin's I was going to say Durnin's coming short, but in fairness there isn't really anybody coming short for the throw in. Takes it, Durnin, back header. And can Durnin pick it up again? No, he can't. It goes to Matt Pitts on the right touchline. Pitts inside to Soley. Soley chipping it down the line. I still think he's a man to unlock the door though, Halliday, as he gets the ball on the right touchline, tries to cut inside his man, and that's well out of the ground. Throw into Carlisle some 12 yards from the byline. Just to repeat that latest score, Barnet 0, Shrewsbury Town 1 in the 3rd division. That's an anxious latest score really for both sides, both Carlisle United and Chester, and you can hear the Carlisle United fans getting behind their team on that far side, and really perhaps this would be a good time to score a goal, but Carlisle allow that ball to go out of play on that far side, and it's Wolverhampton 2, Blackburn 1 in the nationwide Premiership. Barnsley 1, West Bromwich Albion 2. West Brom fighting for their First Division lives as the ball is chipped onto the Chester penalty area, but a firm-headed clearance, but it only goes into touch. And to me, in this second half, Chester have just lost that little bit of composure. It's the type of game that you've got to be a real, what can I say, a connoisseur of football, if you like, to appreciate the tense atmosphere that games like this create. But you are quite right. It's been a bit scrappy, and once again, Reed just nods it forward, and Carlisle second best in the shape of Halliday, but the ball falls to Beckett. Beckett, a good ball down that left-hand touchline once again to Hemmings, but coming across is Stuart Whitehead, and again Whitehead and Hemmings seem to get always seems to get involved. But level with the 18-yard box left side, Hemmings with the throw. It comes to the nearly to the byline. It's picked up by Eve. Good chance here for Hemmings to have a shot, but it comes off Steve Soley, and the crowd respond because it's a corner kick to Chester on the far side. Chipping the ball into the penalty spot. Header comes in just wide of the left-hand post by Hicks. And with Luke Weaver about to take a goal kick, let's have a trip round the grounds. Barrow are away at Whitby Town. Russell Dock.
11 minutes to go here. Still Whitby 1, Barrow 1. Nathan Peel equalising for Barrow on 54 after Robinson had given the home side the lead on 15 minutes. In terms of attacking force, Barrow have been the better side throughout, and we've just seen a shot headed off the line by Taylor as Barrow look to claim all 3 points here. We've got 11 minutes left here. It's Whitby Town 1, Barrow 1, and now to Gretna and Ian Meldrum.
Thanks, Russell. It's now Gretna 2, Matlock Town 3. The last time you came over, it was Gretna 1, Matlock 2. In the 74th minute, Ian Askey had a break through the middle. Nicky Hill, the home goalkeeper, was really stranded in no man's land. It was the easiest task in the world for Ian Askey to lob him to make it 3-1. 2 minutes later, a second goal for Gretna, this time a free kick in the top corner of the net from Craig Potts. So it's still all to play for here at Redale Park. Gretna 2, Matlock Town 3. Now across to Keith Richardson at the Working Red Ossett Town game.
10 minutes to go. Reds 0, Ossett Town 3, Scott Jackson 2. Gary Brook the score. The Reds are trying to fight with some pride and try and get a goal back, but they're certainly going to go down here. The storm clouds are gathering. It's 10 minutes to go. Reds 0, Ossett Town 3. Let's go over to Kevin Quinn, Nuneaton versus Kendal Rugby Union.
Yeah, and the final score is Nuneaton 12, Kendal 34. Kendal have done it 3 tries in each half and 2 conversions. Now they set up for the big one next Saturday against Sedgley Park. Final score, Nuneaton 12, Kendal 34. Let's go back to Paul Newton, Derek Lacey, Chester City, Carlisle United at the Diva Stadium.
12 minutes to go. Thanks, Kevin, here at the Diva Stadium. Still 0-0, but a free kick to Chester on the right side, and it's going to be Hemmings again that's going to take a left-footed in-swinger, or it could be Fisher. It's Hemmings from the right touchline. Hemmings, near post ball. Go, and it's a punch out there by Luke Weaver. But again, I'm sure Chester are going to put defence on pressure on the Carlisle defence again as it comes out to Fisher. Fisher crosses in, and the ball skims over the head of everybody. And I think that's going to go. And I think Sean Teal realises that it could be a corner kick, but Sean Teal, a good ball down the line to Halliday. Halliday being hassled, and it's a free kick to Carlisle. Halliday quickly takes it to Searle. Searle looks up, looking for Clark on the left-hand side, but Durnin wants it close, and he gives it to Durnin. Durnin now going on a run. Clark's outside him. Durnin going on a run. Now's the time to give it to Clark. He does. Clark on the left touchline. Peter Clark checks, tries to get the cross in, but he gets blocked, and it's a throw to Carlisle some 3-4 yards from the byline. Well, Chester are quite interested in that, because the Chester defender, just with the ball beside him, just allowed the ball, didn't particularly want play to go on, but it's in Chester's favour really that they get on with the game. And here is Beckett with, oh, what a good ball that is. It's a good crossfield ball, and it's picked up by Hemmings. Hemmings is now being faced by Matt Pitts, but he's going into the penalty area, tries a right foot shot, and that's nicely covered there by Luke Weaver at the near post. And Scott Dobie is about to come on for Carlisle, and I just wonder whether John Durnin is, and the referee's assistant trying to attract the attention of the fourth official, and trying to attract the attention of the referee. And indeed, it is John Durnin off, and it's Scott Dobie. Well played, John Durnin. Done well. Scott Dobie, of course, scored against Chester in the new year when they won 4-1. Carlisle won this fixture. And it is Sean Teal with the free kick. Edge of the area. Dobie, first of all, first in the action. Here's Steve Soley. He's got a chance of a shot, and he hooks it just wide of the right-hand post. But again, it got a deflection, and again, it's a corner kick to Carlisle United. Chester have got this ploy, really. They wait for the Carlisle players to come up into the penalty area, and then immediately 3 of them run out up to the halfway line. And here they come again. They've done it again. 3 players for Chester up to the halfway line, which means that 4 players for Carlisle have got to come back and cover. But Damon Searle with the corner kick, not a particularly good one. Comes to Dobie. Dobie looking for a little bit of movement. He hooks it to the right-hand touchline, but in fairness, there wasn't anybody there. That's going to go out for a goal kick, and really that really was wasted, and it all came about from a poor corner kick by Damon Searle. I can't understand that. Steve Soley put some good corners in from the in-swinging ones, right foot. I can't understand why he isn't taking them. And Scott Well, the attendance here this afternoon is 5,507. And I think that's a good crowd for Chester in any. And I reckon at least 1,500, maybe more of those Carlisle United fans. Free kick, Carlisle United. Sean Teal again restraining Hemmings. But it's Searle. And the linesman has got his flag up. And once again, that chance. And it's going to be Stuart Whitehead. Stuart Whitehead has already been booked. Stuart's second booking. He's going off. It's a red card for Stuart Whitehead. Well, you can see the disappointment on Martin Wilkinson's face, and really unprofessionalism there by Stuart, I'm afraid. He's got to take credit. He's got to take responsibility. But it's a throw-in now to Carlisle United on the left touchline, and not a particularly good throw. And Paul Reed has gone to the centre of the defence, and he's given that one away, but Scott Dobie can't get on the end of it, and David Brightwell does well, powers a header forward, and that's going to go through to goalkeeper Luke Weaver. Is it? Yes, it is. Well, we've got 5 minutes to go. It's still 0-0 here at the Diva, but just to remind you, in case you are tuning in late, it's Barnet 0, Shrewsbury Town 1, and that's a long ball to Beckett on the edge of the area. Good play by defending there by Sean Teal, but here come Chester again down the right touchline, and it's handball, was it? The referee and the referee's assistant are in unison, and once again it's a free kick to Chester on the right touchline. Well, the goal now will be disastrous. 5 minutes to go, 0-0 the scoreline. Diva Stadium, they don't come any more exciting than this, I'm afraid. Well, here comes, I wonder if Hemmings is going to whip it in with his left, or whether Fisher with his right. It's going to be Hemmings this time with his left, a change of angle, near post ball. And the ball bounces once inside the 6-yard box, but Luke Weaver gets there. Well, I thought that was a poor free kick, but in the end, there must be a little bit of a drifting wind out there, because that ball seems to hold up. Oh, I think so, yeah, and that's off Peter Clark. And well, that Tennent's Cup game, it's a bit of a rout. It's Ayr 0, Rangers 6. 4 minutes to go, 0-0 here at the Diva. Throw into Chester. Carlisle down to 10 men. Stuart Whitehead sent off, second bookable offence. They've gone to a flat back four, and it's a flick on down the line. Sean Teal, battling well is Sean Teal. And Sean Teal now heads that ball over the byline. Another throw to Chester. 3 minutes, plus whatever is deemed added on by the fourth official. Ball down the line, picked up by Chester. David Brightwell there, hooked away by Sean Teal. Up and over the halfway line, and the ball bouncing through as Halliday gives chase, but that's going to go all the way through to Wayne Brown in the Chester City goal. Anxious moments, tense moments. Shrewsbury leading at Barnet by 1-0 as the ball just hits Luke Beckett on the head. He laughs as he turns round because it's gone to one of the Chester players, and Sean Teal well in. Oh, and this time Sean Teal has knocked Beckett over, and really you don't want to give away free kicks like this, and Sean Teal now is going to be booked. Well, thankfully this is only his first booking. Well, we've had Barnet 1, Shrewsbury 1, third division. Barnet have equalised. Well, that's a bit of a relief. Game's running out. I'll settle with the status quo. As Barnet, and it also looks as if Stephen Halliday's gone in the book. Well, if Halliday's gone in the book, he's already been booked once. He's been sent off. Carlisle down to 9 men. Well, what did he do? What did he say? Well, Carlisle down to 9 men. Well, would you believe this? Luke Weaver comes out for it. A punch by Luke Weaver. A good solid punch as well. But now Chester are going to throw everything forward in this last 2 minutes of play. Carlisle down to 9 men. That's a good headed clearance, and the offside flag goes up. Relief as Carlisle United get a free kick in their own penalty area. 0-0 here at the Diva. 1-1 Barnet and Shrewsbury. But Carlisle United down to 9 men. Stephen Halliday sent off for a second bookable. Stuart Whitehead sent off for a second bookable. Referee wants Luke Weaver to take the free kick. 1 minute to go, plus whatever the fourth official adds on. And Scott Dobie heads it forward. And what a dream this will be. Carlisle could get a goal with 9 men. But anyway, the game's not over yet as Chester punt the ball forward. A good headed forward by Sean Teal. What a powerful header that is. And the ball skims off the head of defender Hicks back to goalkeeper Brown. Now Brown rolls this one out this time. and it's rolled out to Matt Woods in the right full-back position. Now they're going to start spraying the ball around, which is right, because Carlisle have got 9 men, but the long ball comes in. Good header by Searle, interception. I've got to 45 on the clock. Richard Tracy is coming on, and the fourth official is about to put up how many minutes of injury time to play as Richard Tracy gets ready to come on. Throw into Chester on the right touchline. It's going to be taken by Matt Woods, and we've got 4 minutes. Well, we all know what happened 4 minutes last time. 4 minutes of injury time. Wow. 7-0 Rangers. David Brightwell comfortable to head that ball into touch. Chester crowd trying to get behind their team as the throw is left to Matt Woods, level with the Carlisle 18-yard box. 0-0 here at the Diva. Carlisle down to 9 men. Throw taken, bouncing, edge of the box. Brightwell goes up. Damon Searle, and I was going to say he took a little bit too long to clear that, but he's got the ricochet, and it's a throw to Carlisle United. It's going to be taken by Clark. Referee wanting Clark to get on with it, but I don't think Peter will be in any hurry. United, shout the crowd, all 1,800 of them, as the ball is down the line to Dobie, and the ball skims over Scott Dobie's head, and it goes to the skipper down the line as Clark, not a good ball by Clark again, but this time Clark does very well, cuts inside, he's got Dobie. Now can Clark do a special? Oh, he squares the ball to Dobie. Solly's with him. Dobie! It's a goal! It's a goal! Scott Dobie! Oh, unbelievable scenes! Oh, what a goal, Scott Dobie! Absolutely brilliant break. Well, we've criticised Peter Clark. But what a run Peter Clark has made there. Peter Clark inside the penalty area, a square ball on for Solly to Scott Dobie, and he hammered that into the top left-hand corner of the net to make it Chester 0, Carlisle United 1. You could talk about prophesying, but I did say to you, I wonder what it would be like if Carlisle scored now with 9 men, and would you believe it, in the second minute of injury time, it was Scott Dobie, and all credit to Peter Clark. What a lovely run. Good ball squared to Solly. Solly squared it to Scott Dobie, and what a shot from 20 yards, top left-hand corner. Whitby Town 1, Barrow 1 is the full-time score. Gretna 2, Matlock Town 5. Chester going in search of an equaliser. Now Carlisle are going to be firm. Square ball. Here comes Matt Pitts. Anywhere will do, Matt Pitts. Chester piling everything forward. Sean Teal, long left boot. Dobie shielding the ball, being dragged back there by Matt Woods. Free kick to Carlisle. They're not going to be in a hurry to take it. I've got the 4th minute of injury time just coming up. Disappointment for Chester. And to be fair, the way they've battled, I think for us to come away with 3 points, we've been lucky. But here they come again. Chester down the inside channel. Here's Steve Finney. Finney cuts inside. He's got the chance of a shot. He shoots. Oh, bounces just in front of Luke Weaver. And didn't he do well to gather that? That was a nasty bounce about a yard in front of him. But full credit to Luke. Well, we've had 4 minutes of injury time. It's now at the discretion of the referee. And I think with those supporters coming on, that must be at least another minute or so. But Teal and Brightwell get in each other's way. But they do get the ball clear. Chester attacking down the right-hand side. It's Searle with a header. Back to Fisher. Fisher, long ball into the penalty area. Up goes Carlisle. The ball bouncing free. It's gone to Hemmings. Hemmings looks to be fouled, but I wonder if they've got a free kick. No, it's a throw, I think, on that far side. No, it is a free. Oh, dear me. It's a free kick. It's just outside the penalty area, left side. And I believe you me, it's right on the penalty spot, penalty area. Now, this is going to be a difficult one for Luke Weaver, a difficult one for the defenders. Right-footed, corner of the penalty area, left side. Everybody back for Carlisle United. Mind you, that's only 8 outfield players. But here comes the free kick. Oh, and that's high, wide, and handsome, right. Oh, dear, what a waste. But from our point of view, Paul, thankfully, that was a good free kick. Here, he must have blasted that 30 yards wide. Carlisle United supporters are going absolutely wild. And there it is. Carlisle have won by a goal to 0. Desolate Chester players. crowd can't believe it. The Carlisle fans have been absolutely magnificent here this afternoon. And believe me, Carlisle have battled for this. They really have battled. And again, it's Hemmings getting involved. But Sean Teal goes and puts his arm round him and says, well, we wish you the best of luck. But he's having a word with Paul Reed. And just to give you a very, very brief update on this game, Carlisle have won by 1-0. They're going round all their supporters, giving them an absolutely fantastic thank you, because they've won by 1-0 from Scott Dobie in the 2nd minute of injury time, and down to 9 men. Stuart Whitehead sent off for 2 bookable offences, and indeed so was Stephen Halliday. But that win puts Carlisle United 5 points clear and still with a game in hand. Everybody down on Tuesday night. So that's the story from here. Carlisle United winning the most dramatic of circumstances. 2 players sent off in the space of 10 minutes. They're absolutely delighted, the Carlisle players out there. Scott Dobie scores the winning goal. 9 men, Carlisle United. Scott Dobie scores the winning goal in the 2nd minute of injury time. Well, let's go over to Whitby against Barrow and Scott Dobie.
Welcome back to the Turnbull Ground, where it's finished now. It's Whitby Town 1, Barrow 1, and Barrow certainly deserved at least a point from this game, where apart from a couple of efforts in the first half, the Whitby side hardly caused them any problems, and Barrow were the better side throughout. Barrow had started brightly, and it was against the run of play that on 15 minutes, Robinson forced the ball home after Carl Lawson had ghosted in on the end of a free kick, and Bishop had done well to parry. Barrow had very little else to do in terms of defensive work, apart from a few long-range efforts which bounced awkwardly in front of Bishop, and Peel and Doherty had shots blocked towards the end of the first half, which Barrow dominated. Hume headed over ahead of the keeper from a Peel cross on 40, but Barrow did have 3 men booked in that first half. The second half saw Peel shoot just over early doors, but on 54 minutes Barrow got the goal they deserved. Neil Doherty dispossessed Taylor to thread the ball through for Nathan Peel, who shot past Dawson to make it 1 apiece. Hill had a shot parried, and then Tolman came on for Dowell, and Hume had a shot headed off the line by Taylor. Barrow tried towards the end to get the winner, but they couldn't quite do so. The final score, Whitby Town 1, Barrow 1.
Final score, Gretna 2, Matlock Town 5. The first goal came in the 35th minute for Gretna. With the ball down the right, Graham Emerson smashed the ball home, and everything was going really well until a couple of minutes before half-time, when there was 2 goals in 2 minutes for the visitors. Firstly, Reuben Francis' shot was going wide, deflected in. Secondly, a measured lob over the goalkeeper's head to make it 2-1 at half-time for Matlock Town. They went in 3-1 in the lead in the 74th minute. care of Ian Askey, who again lobbed Nicky Hill in the home goal. 2 minutes later, there was a second goal for Gretna from a free kick by Craig Potts. But as the game wore on, Matlock very much took the ascendancy and scored in the 88th and indeed in the 90th minute. And the final score here at Radial Park, Gretna 2, Matlock Town 5.
Yeah, you're all very happy at the Diva, but unfortunately it's doom and gloom here at Borough Park, because Working and Reds have gone down 3-0 to Ossett Town. And Reds were never really in the hunt. Defensively, they were weak at the back, and Ossett finished clinically on every occasion and every opportunity they got, more or less. They opened the scoring on 35 minutes. Scott Jackson, the scorer. Matthew Henney caught in possession. Jackson embarked on a run, strong run, shrugged off a defender and slammed it low past Gary Hogarth in the goal to make it 1-0. That was the half-time score. 55 minutes, Gary Brook, the scorer, unstoppable left foot shot into the far corner of the net after the Reds once again were defensively found wanting at the back. And then the scoring was completed on 67 minutes. Scott Jackson, the scorer. You couldn't believe it. Absolute rocket of a shot, stronger than the previous 2. Reds down by 3-0. They weren't really in this one, and Reds' Peter Hampton will probably change formation after this, but there's probably worse to come off the field. But it finished Working and Reds 0, Ossett Town 3.
Bradford City 1, Southampton 2, Leicester City 1, Everton 1, Sunderland 2, Wimbledon 1, Watford 0, Derby County 0. West Ham United against Newcastle United, home win. Nationwide Football League, Division 1. Barnsley 2, West Bromwich Albion 2. Bolton Wanderers 4, Walsall 3. Crystal Palace 3, Stockport County 3. Huddersfield Town 0, Birmingham City 0. Ipswich Town 3, Port Vale 0. Manchester City 4, Crewe Alexandra 0. Nottingham Forest 1, Charlton Athletic 1. Portsmouth 2, Norwich City 1. Queen's Park Rangers 2, Swindon Town 1. Sheffield United 0, Grimsby Town 0. Wolverhampton Wanderers 2, Blackburn Rovers 1. Division 2, Bournemouth 3, Oldham Athletic 0. Bristol City 4, Wrexham 0. Burnley 2, Notts County 1. Cambridge United 1, Bristol Rovers 1. Chesterfield 1, Wycombe Wanderers 2. Colchester United 1, Blackpool 1. Millwall 3, Bury 0. Preston North End 0, Cardiff City 0. Scunthorpe United 1, Luton Town 2. Stoke City 1, Brentford 0. Wigan Athletic 2, Oxford United 0. Division 3, Barnet 1, Shrewsbury Town 1. Chester City 0, Carlisle United 1. Exeter City 0, Brighton and Hove Albion 0. Hull City 2, Leyton Orient 0. Lincoln City 1, Cheltenham Town 2. Macclesfield Town 4, Plymouth Argyle 1. Northampton Town 3, Halifax Town 4. Rochdale 2, Hartlepool United 0. Rotherham United 0, Southend United 0. Swansea City 0, Peterborough United 0. Torquay United 4, Mansfield Town 0. York City 0, Darlington 0. Nationwide Conference, Doncaster Rovers 0, Morecambe 1. Dover Athletic 4, Northwich Victoria 1. Hayes 0, Woking 0. Hereford United 0, Yeovil Town 1. Kettering Town 4, Hensford Town 2. Kidderminster Harriers 2, Rushton and Diamonds 0. Kingstonian 2, Scarborough 0. Stevenage Borough 1, Forest Green Rovers 1. Telford United 2, Sutton United 0. Welling United 4, Southport 1. Tennent's Scottish Cup semi-final. Ayr United 0, Rangers 7. Bank of Scotland Scottish Premier League. Dundee 4, Motherwell 1. Heart of Midlothian 1, Celtic 0. Kilmarnock 1, Dundee United 0.
Paul, what can you say? You must be absolutely delighted.
Yeah, absolutely over the moon with the 3 points, Derek, to be honest with you. I mean, obviously, we've seen the two lads get sent off as well. It was a little bit disappointing on that side of it, but at the end of the day, we come for 3 points. We knew it wasn't going to be pretty. It was a blood and thunders game, as we knew it was going to be, and like I say, we're going home with the 3 points, which is absolutely fantastic.
What did you say to them at half time? Because I thought Chester were the more aggressive side, and really with Sean Teal in defence, I thought he was absolutely outstanding the whole game. But what did you say to the players at half time?
Well, we basically just said keep knuckling down and doing what they're doing. I think Chester, like I say, they were a very physical side. They were probably had the upper hand as regards that the force in the play, and that I think they had actually threw everything at us, and we handled it well enough, and they didn't trouble Luke, to be honest with you. And we said that them emphasised that point, and we said to keep plugging away, and we'll get something if we keep plugging things going. Like I say, I thought they threw absolutely everything at us, and we handled it very, very well. So we knew that the second half wasn't going to be any different to the first, and we just had to knuckle down right from the off. And like I said, the first 5 or 10 minutes to the second half was like stampede authority on the game, and go on to win it.
What was your view of the sending offs? One sending off is bad enough, but 2 sending offs down to 9 men, that's a bit disastrous. But what was your view of the sending offs? Well,
like I say, a little bit disappointing. I mean, the lads are gutted in there. Obviously, Stevie and Stewie are absolutely devastated there. Just got a little bit argy-bargy in the box there. I mean, for God's sake, what sort of a game is it, you know? I mean, a little bit of handbags at 10 pace, as Stewie said. He's literally said he's never. It's just a case of shoving and pushing. Didn't use any sort of elbows, so he's disappointed with that one. He's devastated, in fact. And Buddy's a little bit disappointed, like I say, his reaction to the referee for asking what the free kick was for, and that's referee I think had enough of Stevie all game and the way he was rabbiting onto him, and he had to go. So that was disappointing from that side of it. The unfortunate thing is, obviously, the games we've got now left, we're actually going to be without Stevie for 3 games and Stephen for 1. So that's a disappointing part of it. But like I say, the 3 points today are fantastic for us.
Just a couple more points, Paul. First on the goal, Peter Clark. We've been encouraging to get forward nearly all season, and he did it this time with great effect.
That's right. Yeah, I mean, obviously he's picked the ball up on halfway line and went on one of his mazy runs, and this time, instead of having blinkers on and running into trouble, he actually squared it off to Scott Doby, who initially said his first touch wasn't the best, but I mean, he struck it from 20 yards there and it just flew in the top corner. It was fantastic. Yeah, we keep encouraging Clarkie to get forward because he's got the stamina and he's got the ability. It's just a case of sometimes when he gets into situations in the edge of the 18, he sort of like has blinkers on. So at the end of the day, we're absolutely over the moon with Clarkie's running, obviously assist for the goal.
And what about the supporters?
Oh, absolutely fantastic. Like I say, the buzz we got when we come out there for the for the warm-up before the game was absolutely fantastic. I think John Dinin came out and he looked across the other side and he thought that was it, or the other side. He didn't realise the ones behind the goal were Carlisle as well until they actually started shouting, and he got a little bit of a surprise. And like I say, we got a massive lift from it. I said that, and I've said that for weeks and weeks. The supporters have a massive part in keeping this club at survival, and obviously they've helped us by no end today.
And do you feel as if you've got one foot through the door now?
Well, like I say, we're looking for, we're enjoying the win, we're enjoying the 3 points. Like I say, disappointing from some aspects with the send-offs and stuff. But like I say, it was never going to be a pretty game of football. We knew we had to come here, like I say, to work hard for the 3 points. I thought we worked hard enough to get them 3 points. Like I say, Luke, I didn't think had a lot to do. Having said that, I don't think their keeper had a great deal to do either, but it was always going to be one goal that was going to nick it. So, I mean, let us enjoy this one, and then we look forward to obviously Tuesday night against Northampton, because, I mean, like I say, there's 6 games to go, and we really still need to concentrate. And like I say, we're obviously going to lose Shuey and Stephen for 1 game and 3 games, respectively, so we've got to keep our feet firmly on the ground, enjoy today, obviously send the supporters home, which they obviously will be up on that motorway, absolutely over the moon and overjoyed by it. Let's see if we can build on it.
Ian, I just said to you a little while ago, football is a cruel, cruel game.
It is, but that's life. I thought basically over the 90 minutes we've dominated a scrappy game. We were never in any danger, and I think that was Carlisle's first shot on target in 90 minutes, and what a strike to win the game. And disappointing from our point of view, but fair play to Carlisle. I thought the 3 centre halves defended for them terrifically, and we didn't probably link up as well as what we could have front today. But you've got to give credit to Carlisle there, they defended well. But we did have enough chances, especially in the first half, to carve out a lead.
And looking at one save that Luke Weaver made, that save he tipped round, that was particularly a good save. But as you say, you mentioned the 3 centre halves. We picked out Sean Teal as the man of the match. We thought he was outstanding.
I thought he did today as well. I mean, I think ours were the same. I mean, basically, I can't knock the effort that we put in and the way that we worked. I thought we were terrific. We just need a bit more of a cutting edge up front. But I thought we played a little bit like individuals up there today rather than collectively, and made it a little bit easy for them. But we needed a goal in the first half. It didn't come. And I think in these situations, these games, when you're the home side playing in this tight attention game, the longer it goes on, possibly the more edgy that you get, and the crowd go quiet. And as an away team, your crowd seemed to lift everybody as well. But I can't knock the way that we played, and I'm a fair play to Carlisle. In the end, they've defended reasonably well. But I don't think anybody can justify that we deserved 3 points.
Well, I would agree with that. There's no argument with that. We were sitting here as the 90 minutes came up, and when we saw 4 minutes, we went, oh no.
I did as well when the lad went through as well. But no, it's disappointing because the improvement that we've made here in 2 months has been absolutely frightening, and we've had a good run, and it's disappointing to lose this kind of game. But as I said, there's still 15 points to play for. Carlisle may think they're out of it. I don't think they are. And you've still got to go and win games, and we're capable of picking ourselves up and winning the next 2 away games, and I feel quite sure that if we perform like that, but a bit more of a cutting edge in the last third.
We got the impression in the first half that Chester were far more aggressive, and you wanted it more than what we did. You pushed us back.
I think possibly in midfield and at the back. I think up front it disappointed us, and I thought the 3 centre halves of Carlisle defended well, and they defended with the desperation that we needed off our strikers. I mean, our defenders did exactly the same, to be fair. But so we created a few chances. I think we've had 2 or 3 cleared off the line there in frantic situations. But we didn't carve out as many clear-cut chances as we have possibly the last 2 games. But as I say, it's one thing trying to do it, but you also give the opposition a little bit of credit as well. But I expected a little bit more out of us in that department today.
What about the sending off, Ian? What was your view? They seem. Paul Baker, he said that there was a little bit of handbags at 6 paces with the pushing and shoving. What was your view of it?
Honestly, I didn't even see anything. I didn't know. All I know is Mr. Lynch has sent more players off this year than anybody else on the league list. So the sendings off for us come a little bit too late, because 3 or 4 minutes from the end of the game, I mean, you only got 4 people back in. If that would have been 15, 20 minutes ago, then it may have been different. But having them sent off when they didn't mean anything to the game.
Ian, you're quite right when you say didn't deserve to lose today. I know we are a little bit biased, to be honest, from Radio Cumbria, but we honestly say we didn't deserve to lose today, and I wish you the very best of luck over the next games. Thanks, Ian.
Cheers, thank you.
BBC Radio Cumbria Sport.